Okay, so we're going to talk about 2.06. And just because I've seen a lot of these get turned into me and then I've had to send them back. So I do want to touch base on all the things. All the things. So I'm in a class right now. So just come here. Give me what you need. Who's that? Oh, did you get a note from the office?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, guys. That was a student of mine coming in. Okay. Sorry. Now I'm getting all my paperwork situated so that I can teach you guys and show you the right stuff. Okay. And I've got my dot cam set up. One of the things I have noticed most for the ones that have turned theirs in is they're not doing all the steps. So 2.06 has like 5 different parts to it, right? That's like 5 different pieces to it. So you have to make sure that you do all 5 different parts to it. I'm trying to find I've moved everything around today. Bye, Ashlyn. Will you close my door? Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. Get everything out of the way. Sorry, my desk is a complete disaster today. So I tried to clean and it did not work. So we're gonna see how things go. Y'all know how that is, right? Clean and it just doesn't work, right? No one gets that. No one understands that. You guys have never had a messy room? Are you playing the smallest violin for me? Is that what you're doing? Joaquin? Doing that thing? Oh, I see. You know how I feel? Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the, I'm just the kind of person who likes to do things on paper a little bit. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And Madison, I know that since you asked for some clarification on this, I'm going to let you kind of tell me where you were struggling and where you needed help at. I mean, I don't know like what you were running into, but just for a quick overview of some of this stuff and for anyone watching this later, you have to do option 1, okay? I mean, option 1, 2, or 3, okay? You have to do one of these things. And 3 is, I have 3 over here on this page. 3. You have to do one of those 3, okay? Because if you don't do that first, your program will not start. You will not be able to complete your program. It is important that you organize your table with your data, okay? You need to show that information. You need to have that information typed into your into this table, okay? Should you choose to do this one, then you type that information there, you research the cost and you put it there, okay? That's what you need to do, all right? So, okay, so that's pretty straightforward, right? You're going to do one of those 3 things and you're going to follow the instructions here, okay? So any questions on the on step 1? Because this is step 1, choosing one of those 3 options. You're going to only choose one, okay? Anyone have questions on step 1? So far, so good? Okay, I'm seeing too many people that are just not even starting with step 1. They're just skipping to the end. And you have to start with step 1. I cannot stress this enough. If you guys do not start with the beginning, you're not going to be able to finish it. Okay. So let's just, I'm just going to go with what I've got over here on this little, my little example that I've created before. So I'm just going to rewrite it. So I did option 1, okay? The first time I did it. No, you guys cannot do this. You have to do something else, but you can, I mean, you can use option 1, but you have to do something different, okay? So if I had brass bookends and they were 55, 75. And then I had a crocheted flamingo, and it was $25. And an embroidered bow tie. I'm just going to put a bow tie. And it was $34.98. Okay, so that's my information. Okay, this is after I have gone through and done I've created my wish list. Okay, so there's my wish list. Okay, so there's my step one. All right. And I've done my research in my online stores where I can purchase my items. Okay, and I've recorded the price for each one. Okay. So I've done that. I've done my research and I've recorded the price. Okay, now I have to go and I have to think about like how I need to write 3, 4, and 5. Okay, I don't have to do anything at this point because all this is asking me to do right here is to do 1 and 2. Everyone with me so far? This graph right here is only asking me about 1 and 2. I have to, right now, I'm just having to think about what I want to do when I start working on my code. Okay. All right. Everyone good so far? Okay. Now, because I know some people get really bogged down with all the words on the page, I'm going to cross out the rest because I don't need the rest. Because the rest doesn't bother me because I'm not doing option 2 and I'm not doing option 3. So I'm crossing all that out. Oops, I crossed out step 2. I didn't mean to cross out step 2. That was my fault. I crossed out too much. We have to do this one. We do have to do this one. I did not mean to cross it out. That should not be crossed out. This is the only part that should be crossed out. This part right here. I don't need this stuff. I need this. Okay. I need more desk space. Okay. So it's telling us that we have to design our program. And we have to do that by writing pseudocode. Okay. Our outline must include the following elements. We have to have our input statements. We have to ask the user for at least three numeric values. We have to show the proper use of the int and the float functions. We have to have calculations that are required to achieve the correct output. We have to use the proper order of operations, use any specific math functions, output statements, create a clear, well-organized output, and share the data results of the CS calculations, and show the proper use of the str function. Okay. Now, we are still struggling with the pseudocode idea. Okay. Pseudocode does not look like this. That is not pseudocode. That's code. That's computer code. Okay. There is this is not pseudocode. And this is what I'm seeing on your pseudocode. This is what you guys are sending me on your pseudocode. This is not pseudocode. This is computer code. Okay. This is not pseudocode. This is computer code. Okay. Pseudocode if I'm going to do this, so step 2, okay, let's do it this way, step 2. So step 2, and I need everyone to pay attention to this because everybody struggles with this. I send this back every single time and everyone still makes the same mistake, okay? And I've said it over and over and over again, okay? Pseudocode is written in natural English. It is not written in computer code, okay? So when you are creating pseudocode, you are creating an outline of what you are going to use in your program. So when step 2 says that you have to design your program, it is telling you that you have to create an outline to design your program. It is not telling you that you need to start writing computer code because you haven't designed your program yet. You haven't created the idea of what your computer code is going to look like, okay? So it is asking us to include the input statements. So let's focus on that first, okay? Let's do the input statements, all right? So, input, I would put input. And then I would put maybe that, something like that. And I would say maybe a bullet point, and I would say ask for name of item 1. That's going to be a string. And cost of item 1. And then there, I would want to state that I was going to use a float function to convert my input into a float. And you can even say here, you could say decimal if you wanted to. Okay. This is pseudocode. You write it out. You write out what you're going to do. Okay. My next thing, my next input, I would ask for a name and cost of item 2. And I would have the same ideas as this stuff in parentheses up here. Okay, I just don't need to put it down here because I've already got the same idea. Okay, and then I would ask for name and cost of item 3. Okay, that's my input. That's my input. So here I've done my input statements. Okay, I've asked the user for at least 3 numeric values. Did I do that? So what are the numeric values I'm asking the user? Can somebody tell me? Right, the cost. The cost. Those are the numeric values I am asking of the user. That's right. Okay. And then I'm also showing the proper use of the int and the float functions. So where am I showing the proper use of int and float functions? Where am I showing that in my pseudocode? Yes, it is a blueprint of the program. Yes, absolutely. So where am I showing the function? Like where am I showing the proper use of how integer or float functions work? Where am I showing that? In my pseudocode, where am I showing that? Right here. In these parentheses right here. Okay. Where I've got a little note out to myself of how I'm going to use the float function. Okay. All right. Let me put little parentheses right here around the float because the float function is like that. Okay. A float is basically a decimal. An integer is a whole number. A float is a decimal. Okay. So now the next thing this tells me to do in step 2 for the design process is the calculations. All right. So I'm going to put calculations. All right. So calculations. All right. So then it says use the proper order of operations. What's the order of operations in math? Come on. You guys should know it better than me. I was an English teacher. PEMDAS. Very good. Okay. PEMDAS. And PEMDAS means what? Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Very good. Very, very good. Okay. So now we've got that. So we're going to use the proper order of operations and we're going to use any appropriate math functions in our calculations. Okay. All right. So in our calculations, the plan is, in this particular sense, is we want to make sure based on what this is telling us to do up here, is that we'll write an equation to calculate the subtotal of your 3 items, okay? Because this is the calculation that we are being told that we have to do from option 1, because we chose option 1. So option 1 is what is the calculation that we need to go back to and told we need to do, okay? So this is what we're looking at as our calculation, okay? All right. So what's the first thing that we need to do in order to calculate the items? If we are providing, well, yes, but I mean, like, if we are going to write down how to create a subtotal of the items, what's the first thing that we have to do? When you go to the store, when you go to the registers at Walmart and you have to put everything on the thing, what does it do? What does it do before it even adds taxes or anything on there? What does it do? Yeah, I mean, I'm talking like when you scan it and before the receipt, before this program puts everything together and adds the taxes and adds all that stuff on there and adds all the subtotal. I mean, what is it doing to get the subtotal of the items? Adding. Yes, it's adding the prices. So the first thing that we have to do, because This is telling us to calculate the subtotal. You have to calculate the subtotal before you can do the taxes. Okay. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to add the subtotal for the items. Which would mean it would be item 1 plus item 2 plus item 3. That's the subtotal. Does everyone understand that? Again, this is not where we are writing code. We are doing pseudocode. This is pseudocode. Okay. We are not writing the code yet. Okay. Now, the next step, what does it tell us to do next? We do the subtotal and then we do what? Subtotal of our 3 items and then what?
The tax.
The tax. Okay. So we then calculate the tax for the order. And we do that by doing the subtotal is multiplied by the tax percent. Which over here, what is it telling us the tax percent is? Hello?
6.5.
6.5. Very good. Okay. And with the way that we write 6.5 is 0.065. Okay. So far, so good. If you are confused, tell me now. This is math. This is all math right here. This is just math. This is adding items together and this is calculating the tax for it. This is math. This is just like retail math. Okay. Now, the next thing it tells us to do is we're adding shipping, right? Total cost and shipping, right? There's the shipping. All right. So we would then calculate the shipping by doing what? How would we calculate the shipping? Adding, very good. Adding, how much? $5.99 and the tax. Okay. All right. And those are the calculations. That's all the calculations it's asking us to do. That's all the calculations that it's asking us to do. All right. Again, have we written any code yet? No, we have not. We are still creating the outline and the design of what we want to include in our code. Okay. This is a huge step that just about everybody misses. And this is where you all are running into problems because you're not doing this step. You're just running right into the code, and skipping this step is what is hurting a lot of you. Okay. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. What I'm saying is that you cannot skip this anymore. Okay. You cannot skip this step. You got to start doing this. You have to start doing this. And because it is hurting what the outcome of your information is. Okay. Okay. Now we have the output. Okay. That's the next thing, because, and I know I messed up. So so the output here, output statements, it tells us to create a clear and well-organized output to share the data and results of the calculations. Show the proper use of the string function. All right. So outputs. All right, I didn't mean to put a space between outputs. Okay. So I might want to run out of room here. All right. So outputs. Okay, wait, let's see. Okay. So on our option one that we chose, this is the output it's telling us to do. This is how it's wanting us to do it. Okay. It must include the following: the name of each item, the item price, the subtotals, the tax amount, the shipping fee, and the total purchase cost with tax and shipping. Okay. So what is the first thing that it's telling us that we need to print? What's one of the first things it's telling us to print?
The names of the items.
The names of the items. So if someone has ordered something and they have created a list of things that they are purchasing, the idea would be that we want to print the order with item name, and costs for 3 items. Okay. That's the plan for the first thing that we want coming out, right? What's the second thing that we want to come out? So think of a receipt. Think about what a receipt looks like. Okay. You have a list of things that come out. What's the next thing? No, you have the list, the subtotal. Very good. The subtotal. Print the subtotal. Okay. What do you think comes after the subtotal on a receipt? The tax. Very good. All right. Then we have print. What do you think would come after if we were coming up here and adding our shipping? What would come after the tax? The shipping. Okay. All right. And then what do you think after we have our cost, we have our subtotal, we have our tax, and we have our shipping? What's the next thing that needs to print? The total cost. And then if we want to, at the end, you can even print a message that says, thank you for shopping with so-and-so, whatever, if you wanted to. Okay. I don't have enough room to write that on there, but you can do that if you want to. Okay. So now we have, here, we have our blueprint. We have everything listed that we want to include on our code. And do you see any code on there at all? Any code? It's all written in natural language, natural, regular English speaking words that we use every single day, right? So that is how you write pseudocode. Whenever on your assignments, when it tells you to, where's it at? Where's it at? Let me see if I can find it over here. Can you see my screen still? My screen of the assignment? I think, yes. You see where it says insert pseudocode here? You see that? 9 times out of 10, what you all submit to me there is this. It's something like this. This is not pseudocode. Okay, this is not pseudocode. All right, this is what you submit to me there. Okay, this is what you submit to me there. Does everybody understand this now? Does everyone understand what I'm expecting when it says insert pseudocode here? Okay. All right. So, and I don't mean to keep pushing that and pushing it and pushing it, but I'm seeing it so many times to where we're not seeing I'm not seeing the pseudocode. And you know what also happens, guys? You guys will make it so brief, like input 3. Okay, so I've seen it like this too. All right, and this is not acceptable either. You have cost of 3 items. Output or input, you'll do this. Input, output, receipt. And then like you'll say print thank you or something like that. Okay, that's not acceptable pseudocode either. Sorry, I didn't bring that up. Okay, this. I've gotten ones that look like this for pseudocode. That's not pseudocode. That's, I don't know how else to say, but that's being lazy. Okay, this is not, that's you being not wanting to do all the work to put into it. Okay, you've got to be able to show me your thought process. Okay, how you're planning on putting things together. And here's another reason why. Okay, because if you make a mistake somewhere, I can go back and look at your pseudocode and say, okay, this was your plan. Where is this in your code? And then you can say, well, this is where I thought I put that in my code. But it's not working the way that I thought it would. Okay, that gives us a place to start. Make sense? All right. There's a method to the madness. I promise. I promise. Okay. But this doesn't really give us very much to start with. If you say, this is my pseudocode, here, done. Okay. So when you write pseudocode, it needs to be detailed. Okay. And plus the fact that the assignment right here is telling you what to put in the pseudocode. Okay. So do what it's telling you to do. All right. And if you'll also pay attention, let's see, where is it at? I don't think anyone looks at the rubrics either, if I can find it. I don't know where it went. Everything's crazy on my desk. I moved it somewhere and now I don't know where it's at. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is the rubric. And one of the things I have to grade on is the pseudocode. Okay. If you like like this first one, most people I have had to grade down here because there's no pseudocode. Okay. I can't tell if you're following your pseudocode plan. I can't tell if you got your calculations in there. I can't tell anything. Okay. Do you see where I'm coming from? So those things have to be there. Check your rubric. Check your rubric. Okay. I grade everything off of these things when they have them in there. Okay. Any questions? Any questions on steps 1 and 2 on 2.06? Okay. All right. Okay, now. So was that the major thing that you guys were running into with this assignment, trying to figure out like how to lay it all out, or trying to figure out like, talk to me, talk to me. Do we need more work on 2.06? Do we need more? Do we need less? Do I need to stop talking? Everyone's still with me here? I don't know. Do you think you guys can, after we've done, now that we've done kind of, now that I've gone through that and I've gone through the pseudocode and how to write pseudocode, do you think that if you guys can start to look at it that way and start to make the blueprint of your computer of what you want to design and everything like that, do you think that you could actually do the code on your own? You think so? Okay, I get like a huge like, yes, from Madison, like, oh, yeah, I can do it. Okay, got thumbs up from Chloe. Yes, from Joaquin. Okay. Okay, any clarifications that you all want? Any clarifications that you guys need? Like, I'm happy to clarify anything. If you have something that like you're not quite sure about, I don't want to give you all the answers because I do want you all to think about things on your own a little bit, but I just definitely, are there any kind of clarifications that we can talk about? So like, are you know how to do the input variables, right? Like inputs must have a variable. I'm gonna show you something. Let me show you something really quick. Addison, I know you and I had a schedule, so hang on a second. All right. All right. So inputs. Let me hang on. Let me share my screen. Get my screen over there. Okay. Inputs. When you write an input statement, please, 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 please stop writing them like this. Stop writing them like that. That is not an input statement. Okay. Also, stop writing them like this. That is not an input statement. It looks like one, but it is not. You want to know why it's not an input statement? Can anyone tell me why that's not those are not correct input statements? Anyone? It's okay. I'll wait. I'll wait a minute. I would love for someone to tell me why. I'm totally fine with waiting.
Can I guess?
Huh?
Can I guess?
You can guess. Absolutely.
Is it because when you put the input statement, it's not simplified into like a normal English? So like it is English, but like it's put into coding terms instead of like the, I don't know. I lost myself.
Well, no, this is code. This is like actual computer code. So we're done with pseudocode now. We're actually writing in computer code. So that would be fine. This is fine. So, but no, that's no. So, but I like the fact that you tried. That's very good. I like it. I like it a lot. If you were here, I'd give you a piece of chocolate. All right. Anyone else? I think Grace is typing. She looks like she's focusing very hard. Grace, you want to just unmute yourself and tell me what you think? No? Okay. All right. Well, all right. I'm going to go ahead and say it. So, because we've got people waiting that need to go. That for one, this, if you have it like this is just going to print out the term, what is your name? And you cannot input into anything in here. Okay. Yes, the input function does work by prompting the users to type a response. That is correct. But I'll go over that here in a second. So print right here, this statement right here, this particular piece of code would only print out what is your name. It would not allow the user to input anything. It would not allow the user to actually put their name in because it's not asking the user to input any information. Okay. Everyone's got that. This is not asking for an input whatsoever. Okay. Now, this one, yes, you can use this, but you cannot use it anywhere else. Okay. So if you were to type in, if you were to type in input, what is your name? You can use that. However, you cannot, there is nowhere in the code you could use this anywhere else. Okay. So let's say if you wanted to have, like if someone typed in their name and I answered Miss Cox, and then you wanted to say, hello, Miss Cox, you can't do that. Because why? Why can't I do that? Why can't I do that with this one right here? All inputs have to be assigned a variable. Okay. You must absolutely all the time, no matter what, you have to assign an input a variable. The only way that you should write one of these statements is like this. So if we have here, we are asking the user for the name and cost of an item. Okay. All right. So we're asking the user for the name and cost of the item. All right. Item 2. Input. What is the name and cost of the item you want? That's probably not what I would actually say, but okay. What I have done is I have given the answer. Okay. The answer to this question will fall. Okay. You remember how I told you that variables are like buckets, right? You remember that? How I told you variables are like buckets. This is your bucket. The answer that your user puts in goes into the bucket. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I got somebody that's like typing all kinds of weird stuff. What's going on? Was that an accident? Are you? Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were like stressing or something. Okay. So the answer to this goes into our bucket. All right. And then we can use it somewhere else where we have an output when we say print item 2, and it's going to print the answer. All right. You see how that works? In the code world, like not pseudocode, but actual code. Okay. Are you guys with me? Hello? Okay, so we have to start writing the input statements correct. We've been working on input statements for like a month now. You have to start writing these correctly. You have to. Okay. So you need to know how to write these. If you are still unsure of how to write this, so yes, that is correct, Grace. That is correct. The input is lowercase I. Yes, but yes. That's all right. It's just a lowercase I. But yes, that is the right way to write it. Yes, that is the right way to write it. Okay. Everyone good? Okay. I'm going to let you all go for now. I've got to, I have a meeting to, I've got to meet with a student right now. But if you all have any other questions for me at this moment that I can help with. Okay. If anything comes up, then please let me know. I am happy to help. I am more than happy to help. If we need to find some more time to meet and work together, I can do that. And then if Thursday, we will do another tutoring session like this. Try to get caught up, guys, so that I can update those grades and get those grades a lot higher in our grade book. Because right now, we just ended our first quarter of the year. Yes, we've already been in school for 9 weeks. And your grades are updated in eSchool now. So, and we got some work to do. All right. Got to get rid of these zeros. I have to get rid of these zeros, ladies and gents. Okay. Got to get rid of these zeros. So, please, just let me know what I can do to help you. Okay. All right. All right. Well, I will see you all later, and you guys take it easy. Let me know what I can do. Okay. All right. And Addison, just hang on and you and I can chat. Okay. All right.